Hey guys, this is UC from iTradePrice. Welcome to the weekly episode of the chart updates that we go through. So let us get started with Amazon. Okay, and since we already have a weekly close, so just going to analyze that in multiple time frames. So here's the weekly chart, and you can see we have a really nice weekly bullish trend bar, right? And this pattern right here is pretty bullish in a way because we have the bounce, the weekly bounce from the 20 SMA plus the structure, the shape of the pattern of the candle itself is bullish piercing. Basically what that means is that you have a red bar, right? And then you have a bullish bar, which is a green bar, which closes above the 50% of this bearish bar, right? So it closed above that, plus it's a nice trend bar. It's not something like where you have a top break or a bottom break. So it shows that the bulls really defended this support area right here, which was right here. You have multiple touch points here in the weekly time frame, so that's a good sign for bulls. Okay, all right, let's move to the daily time frame for Amazon. And from the moving average perspective, yes, we are down, but that does not mean that we can't play the long side. Okay, so what's happened all this week is that we literally kind of held the support levels of 2,900, 3,000, and we managed to close above that nicely. Okay, and any move down was seen as an opportunity to get into the stock. Okay, so we had this nice clean breakout from the trend line. We got this 1 day of bearish trend bar. Buyers defended this level and kind of gave a little pause bar or a trend bar failure. Basically what that means is you have a trend bar, a bearish trend bar, right? And then the following day you don't get any downside follow through. Instead you get a sort of a bullish bar, which shows that the sellers literally failed. Okay, so that's a good sign for buyers. And then on Friday we got a little bit of bounce back up. So let's see if we get back above 31.27 next week, which is sort of a double top here in the daily time frame. If we can get above that, it would be a good sign for bulls, because then we can target 31.88, which is this area of resistance. As you can see, we have multiple touch points here in the daily time frame that kept the stock from going up, and then it also kind of nicely coincides with this 50 SMA, right? So we can have some sort of a little bit of resistance here if we move back above 31.27, 31.50 as well. So that's a good sign. Okay, on any move back, first touch point would be again that psychological level of 3,000 as a support. If we are to give up that, I'm assuming a lot of people who are holding this stock long will have their stop losses sitting just below 3,000. So if we get that, we can get a little bit of flush back down towards the this weekly low of 28.70. So and only one touch point here below 3,000. So we'll see which scenario plays out and kind of go with that. So here's the Netflix chart. If you just kind of look at it from the structural point of view, it's not bad in a way that we have this inside week, right? Inside week has been the range of current week is within the previous week's low and high, right? So again, I would lean a little bit bullish on this name because it did not literally flush through. Usually Netflix gives up pretty quickly if it needs to, right? It is that kind of stock. So it held this monthly support level of 453. I mean, it never went there, but it kind of held on to this congestion area support level around 466. So pretty good. So let's see if we get back above the last week's high, which would be around 491, 495, I think. So that would mean that this is a short-term bottom, and then we can look for some move towards the upside. But it is not really a clean chart to trade. So you literally, I mean, sometimes have to wait out because it gives a lot of these top and bottom wicks, which can be tricky to play. And if you see in the daily time frame, it is looking less bearish, but you never know what's going to happen with Netflix. So I think there are better charts to trade than Netflix. We are below the short-term moving averages. Yes, we paused here since the last 3 days, or actually the whole week. 466 was defended by buyers nicely, so I'm assuming a lot of stop loss orders are waiting there. So if we are to see a move down, I don't think we will hold 458 level this time. We'll just kind of flush towards 453 monthly support, or even below that, which would be a main support around 439 area if we are to kind of see that kind of move. Okay, and we are still in a downtrend, so unless or until we get back above 491, which is the double top here from last week, if we get above that, sure, we'll have to see if we close above that. If we do, then I can see Netflix going at least towards 500 level, 504 level, which is the resistance above 491, 495 price range. Okay, let's go to Facebook weekly chart. You can see nicely this was sort of the resistance on the way up, and now we got our first touch on the way down. So let's see if buyers can defend this area of 244 price, looks like. So if we kind of chop around here, make some base, sure, we can see the upside, but right now we are in the downtrend because we are seeing these lower highs right now in the weekly time frame. So let's see if this moves back up or not from here. But if we go to the daily time frame, we are nicely sort of consolidating here in this region where this was the resistance. So now this becomes the support, right? We do have a little bit of nice daily close here. Let me erase that for a second. So we have a nice daily close where we got this bearish trend bar on Wednesday. On Thursday, we got the buyers stepping in, holding the support level, and on Friday, we got a little bit of follow through to the upside. But still, the level to watch would be 456 area, as that has been the resistance all throughout past week. We are to get above that, 261 is the next level to watch, as we have, that was the flush point, when we literally broke down from there, 261, and got to 244 level, this level. So that can be an upside target, which will nicely coincide with the 50 SMA as well. So we'll see how it behaves towards 261. But above 255, 261, we have this nice $5 move that it can go for on the upside. Okay, but I won't be too aggressive on this name playing the upside as of right now, at least with the current structure. Okay, here is NVDA chart. This is actually the most relatively strong and bullish name because it has held this trend line nicely all throughout. Good weekly bar, good weekly close, and if we go to the daily time frame, again, really nice. I think I'm personally, did we play this one on Friday? Let me see. So go to Tesla, NVDA. What was the notes? Trading in the range between 506 and 480. So unless we take these two levels out, it's range bound, made sense. So look to play below or above these levels. So here's the chart that was shared. So look to play above 506, right? Trading in the range. So above 506 was 509, and that was the 50 SMA as well. So that was a good clean breakout on Friday. Going back to the current chart. So yeah, above 506, 509, which was the top here. Yeah, it went all the way up till 515, which is good, which is nice. So multiple bullish trend bars right here. Oops, let me zoom out. Right there. So yeah, you can see multiple bullish trend bars right here. This one is not a trend bar, but still nicely bullish as it held the low. This one is definitely bullish trend bar because the body is bigger than the wick, so, and it closed above the high. So any weakness, as long as we hold this 504, 505 level, would be a good sign that even if we come down and then move back up to test the 532 or 523 level, 523 would be the first because we have a couple of touch points there. Anything and above, we have this double top here around 532. Okay, so look for that follow through move if we hold this 505 level. If anything below that, we will be back in the same range that we were trading around 506 or to 475. One thing to note is that the overall structure is still sort of sideways, right? But this stock offers nice range, so you can kind of play that way where you buy the dips and sell the rips, if that is what you like to kind of play this one as. Getting into a 2-hourly time frame, we got these small short-term moves down, but then held this 476 level nicely and moved all the way up. So let's see if we get a nice follow through to the upside to test some of this resistance around 532, 523 region, and we'll see how it acts once it gets there. Here is Boeing's weekly chart, nice channel, right? And now we have a very good looking weekly bar. Yes, it's still, red because we closed below where it opened, but you have this nice bottom wick from the monthly support around 144. And I think from our notes on Friday, I think I did give something about the BA chart. Let me see, Amazon BA. So yeah, was a nice short on yesterday, which was Thursday, but need a bullish daily bar to have a conviction that we are seeing short-term bottom. So we did get a nice bullish with a long bottom wick, so that's a good thing. And on the chart, still no bullish daily bar. Yes, that was Thursday, but then we got the channel support, the weekly support, and it was a good buy there from risk and reward perspective as well. So if some of you got in, that's nice. So let's see if we can get back above 160. That is the resistance on the way up now. So if I go into the daily time frame, it is looking somewhat promising because we have this on the channel bottom. We had this nice daily bar, right? And then we got this little bit of upside follow through. So again, I would have liked it to close above 156 towards 158, but it looks like it did go there after market. So we'll see how it opens up on Monday. But the resistance to look for on any move to the upside is 160.5, as we have multiple touch points there. It was support on the way down, and then it has been a resistance on the way up. Anything above that, again, not a whole lot going on here in this area. And then the next level to watch would be 168. You can kind of target the swing back above towards 168, as we have resistance in that area, as you can see through multiple touch points and top wicks in that region. So right now I won't play this name. On the bear side, I would look for any weakness to buy because we have this nice bullish trend bar. Okay, and this monthly support at 144 was a good support level that it held for at least 2 days right there. Okay, so all good there. Okay, so here is ROKU. The weekly chart got the top wick from the channel top, right? So it's normal, again, nothing too bearish or anything, but it's just the normal sellers taking the profit after that huge move up on good volume. Okay, moving on to the daily chart, you can see the rejection twice from that area when it moved above 193 level. So top wick moved down, and now this 187 is the resistance and 176 is the support. So we'll see to what side it resolves this current move. So anything move above, we can target again the channel top or 192 at least on the upside, If we are to move down, then we have this 20 SMA that can be a little bit of support, plus this 170 area which it broke out from this past week, which was Monday. So yeah, let's see if it tries to kind of give us a little bit of this bull flag kind of a move, and Roku does that, but Roku has its minds of its own. So we'll just have to kind of monitor its day-to-day move to see what's going on. Okay. Last but not least, Tesla weekly time frame. Again, nothing bearish, to be honest with you. We got these bullish bars right here. This was the sort of the pause, right? But again, nothing wrong with this pause. It was not a bearish trend bar. We did move down, but then 330 ended up becoming super support, and we saw a nice follow through. And this last week we have this bottom wick, which shows that buyers don't want to see the price in this range. They like to see it upwards, so which is good. And now if we get into the daily time frame, we are in this sort of a symmetrical triangle like this one, and the trend line from here. So let's see if it moves up from here. Again, the level to watch would be 412. That's where our resistance is at this moment, and we have this small little gap to fill to the upside. So let's see if it lets us do that. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can see we have multiple touch points here around 417 right here. So let's see if it resolves that and moves above 417, 418 area. If it does, then 438 comes in next, because that was sort of the resistance, and then it also kind of coincides with this symmetrical triangle kind of trend line. If we get above that, then super resistance around 460 area. We have these price points where the stock couldn't move above that, so we'll see how it goes. And on the downside, if we are to move and roll over, first target to the downside, if we give up 382 as well, would be the multiple touch points right here, and the stock managed to close above that here as well. So 360 followed by 351, which is the low from previous week, can be support. Okay, so look for that kind of move if the Tesla stocks move to the downside. Okay, now really quickly I would like to review a few more charts because the requests came in. Number one was target. So let's remove these old drawings. They're not really valid anymore. Let's start with the weekly time frame. Again, looks like it is in that bull flag kind of a move, where you had this move down and then kind of sideways, and nothing too bearish, right? We have a couple of down weeks there, but no trend bars, right? Which meant trend bar would be where the sellers started off from here, or the week started off from here and then closed towards the downside. We don't have anything like that. We have buyers stepping in on every down move, so which is a good sign and could mean that we can have a nice continuation towards the top side, right? So 156.1 is the all-time high. So normal pullback and then the move back up. So looks good in the daily. Yeah, it looks good. We are kind of holding this range right now, so that is a good. And usually if you move above, you can consider the doubling of this range. So the bottom is, let's say, 150 and the top is like 155, so that means we can move $5 above this one, which would be 160 is a good upside target if you want to play this name on the breakout. Okay, but good action. And this is again this is a good 3-bar pattern as well, where you have this down move followed by a trend bar failure move, and then the move towards the upside and close as well at the top end of its weekly range. Looking good. Okay, all right, the next name is AVLR. Okay, let's look at the daily weekly time frame. Looks nice, and literally the first thing that pops out when you look at it is the bull flag sort of price pattern, right? You had this move and then you had this move, and let's see if it tries to break to the upside. The level to consider for a breakout play, in my opinion, would be something, let me clear this one out first, and we can draw a little level here. So I think the highest close has been around this one, right? That was the highest close, around 136.65. So, but if you consider top wicks as well, I would look for a move, let's say right here, about 142 to see if this is a good breakout. But again, that means you have to wait for this to move up $12 to even consider that. So if you want to just maybe consider going long once it breaks out of this bull flag pattern, sort of a trend line, right? You can draw this trend line as well, and if I do it like this, so yeah, I mean, this once we start getting above 136 area, something like that, you can see drill down to a lower time frame and see what kind of bars are showing up. Are there more bottom wicks? Is it holding the short-term moving averages? And just kind of time it that way. But looks good. I mean, definitely I'd be more bullish on this name the way it is showing up. Okay. Another request was AMD. Looks good here in the weekly time frame. Again, it's not. It does show some attempts from buyers, right? Because you're holding this level nicely, 75, defending that level. Nothing, no bearish trend bars. We do have lower highs in the weekly time frame, but it is holding the 75, right? So let's see what happens when you go to the daily. So it is consolidating in this sort of 80 to 75 area for the most part. More bullish trend bars holding this level. So if we are to get back above, I would say 82 area or something like that, this can definitely give us a run towards 85 at least, which is the touch points, multiple touch points right here, or even higher to 87 if you know, if the market kind of supports this theory. On the downside, however, if we do get this 50 SMA to provide resistance and we get a move down, I'm assuming there will be a lot of stop loss orders hitting sitting right here that can be waiting for people to get triggered on the move down. So if we are to take this area out, we have this gap as well, which can provide as a support around 70 as the downside target on any move down below the low end of this congestion zone right here. Okay. All right. Let's go to the last one, which was JD. And I really like this name as well. I think I'm going to start kind of looking to buy this name on any dips or so, because it is looking nice. You can see, you know, it does not give, and again, any big move to the downside. It is resisting any move down, showing up with bullish bars right here, which is a good sign. Again, even if you move down, this 50 SMA in the daily time frame can provide support, which can coincide with the support from this area, which is multiple touch points. Okay, so, and it's sort of a triangle right here, or descending triangle. Usually if you know, it breaks up, it can move like that, or if it breaks down, it can just kind of break down towards this longer term support around 62. But for right now, again, I'm more interested in playing this name to the top side if it resolves like that. So if it moves down, we'll just have to consider it at that time. That we'll see if it holds 50 SMA or not, and if it does hold, you know, what kind of shape, candle shape is showing up. So hope you guys like it.